Today we are going to discuss a philosophical film called Perfect Days, directed by Wim Wenders from a script written by Wenders and Takuma Takasaki. It's a co-production between Japan and Germany. The film stars Koji Yakusho in the role of a cleaner of public toilets in Tokyo. Now let's directly jump into the plot. Hirayama works as a public toilet cleaner in Tokyo's upscale Shibuya ward, across town from his modest home in an ungentrified neighborhood east of the Sumida River. He repeats his structured, ritualized life every day, starting at dawn. He dedicates his free time to his passion for music, which he listens to in his van to and from work, and to his books, which he reads every night before going to sleep. He reads stories by William Faulkner and Patricia Highsmith and the essays of Aya Koda. His dreams are shown in flickery, impressionistic sequences at the end of every day. Hirayama is also very fond of trees and spends time gardening and photographing them. He has a sandwich every day in the shade under trees in the grounds of a shrine and takes photos of their branches and leaves. His pride in his work is apparent by his thoroughness and precision. Hirayama's young assistant Takashi is often late, loud, and not as thorough. One day, a young woman named Aya stops by the public toilet Takashi is cleaning, so he hurries to finish. He tries to leave with Aya, but his motorbike will not start, so he convinces Hirayama to let him use his van. When Aya says Takashi can stay with her as she works at a girls' bar, he complains loudly that he is broke. Beknownst to Hirayama, Aya slips Hirayama's Patti Smith tape into her purse. Takashi talks Hirayama into going into a shop to get some of the cassettes appraised. When Takashi discovers how valuable they are, he urges Hirayama to sell, but Hirayama refuses, giving him some cash so he can take out Aya. When Hirayama runs out of gas on the way home, he is forced to sell a cassette for gas money. Hirayama commences a tic-tac-toe game with a stranger after finding a piece of paper left hidden in a stall. The game continues over the course of the film. He exchanges furtive glances with a strange woman eating lunch one bench over. Aya catches up with Hirayama to return the Patti Smith cassette. She asks to play it in his van one last time and then gives him a thank you kiss on the cheek, leaving him visibly startled. On his free day, Hirayama does his laundry, takes the film with his tree photos to be developed, cleans his flat, buys a new book, and dines out at a restaurant where the female proprietor shares gossip with him. Nico, Hirayama's niece, shows up unannounced, having run away from his wealthy estranged sister Kiko's home. He lets Nico accompany him to work during the next 2 days. The two photograph the trees in the park and rides bikes together. Eventually, Kiko comes to pick up Nico in a car. Kiko tells him that their father's dementia has worsened and asks whether Hirayama will visit him in the nursing home where he lives. She says that he doesn't recognize anything anymore and will not behave the way he did before. Hirayama sorrowfully refuses but hugs his sister goodbye. Before she leaves, she asks him whether he really cleans toilets for a living, and he says yes. As they drive away, Hirayama begins to cry. The next day, Takashi quits without giving notice, leaving Hirayama to cover his shift. Later, as Hirayama goes to his usual restaurant, he opens the door and sees the proprietor embracing a man. Hirayama hurries off. buys cigarette and three canned highballs to consume at a nearby riverbank. The man Hirayama saw at the restaurant approaches and asks him for a cigarette. The man tells him the restaurant proprietor is his ex wife, with whom he had not seen in 7 years, and that she opened her restaurant the year after divorcing him. He says he visited her to make peace before he dies from cancer, telling Hirayama to look after her. Hirayama lightens the mood by offering him a drink and inviting him to play shadow tag, and they eventually part ways. The following morning, Hirayama begins another work week as he drives his van and listens to Nina Simone singing Feeling Good. A range of powerful emotions washes over his face. Through Wim Wenders' Perfect Days, we can understand many things about life. It explores several thought provoking themes, such as finding beauty in the everyday. The film's protagonist, Hirayama, is a toilet cleaner who finds deep satisfaction in his work and the simple routines of his life. Wender's direction lingers on the details of Hirayama's cleaning rituals, transforming the mundane into something poetic. We also learn about the importance of routine and ritual. Hirayama's life is structured by a series of routines and rituals, from his morning coffee to his curated selection of cassette tapes. This routine provides a sense of order and purpose in his life. It also tells us about finding meaning in work. Hirayama takes great pride in his work as a toilet cleaner, seeing it as a vital contribution to the society. The film challenges the societal perception of blue-collar jobs and suggests that any kind of work can be source of dignity and fulfillment. It also teaches contentment over materialism. Hirayama lives a simple, uncluttered life with few possessions. The film suggests that true happiness comes from inner peace and a sense of purpose rather than the accumulation of material goods. It also tells us the power of observation. Hirayama is a keen observer of the world around him, finding beauty in the small details that most people overlook. The film invites viewers to slow down and appreciate the beauty of the nature and the everyday. It also tells us about the importance of human connection. Despite the solitary nature of Hirayama's works, he forms a bond with a young woman named Nico, who uses the public toilet he cleans. Their interactions are tender and unspoken, suggesting that meaningful connection can be found in the most unexpected places. And because of this reason, I find Perfect Days as a perfect philosophical film which teaches us how to find beauty in the mundane.